when you're working on the day one exam, this contractor's manual is like your Bible for the first day. If you can't find something, chances are it's in this book, okay? Almost every question on the exam will be in 2 books. You can find it in at least 2 books. And on day one, it's almost always in this book and one other book. So keep that in mind. Right now we're going to cover mechanics lien law, or the Florida lien laws. In the mechanics lien law, what we want to cover is the timeline for filing and serving documents. Okay? So the first thing is your notice of commencement. The owner or the owner's agent files a notice of commencement. It says there's going to be some work done on a piece of property. This is recorded with the county clerk. The second thing is your notice to owner. All suppliers of goods and services in privity with the owner, except laborers, typically will file a notice to owner saying, I'm providing services, materials and services to your job, and if I'm not paid for them, I'm going to look to you, I'm going to put a lien on your property. Okay? This is posted on the site or sent by mail, registered mail, to the owner prior to commencing work, but not later than 45 days after commencing work. Notice of claim. Every liener, including laborers and persons in privity with the owner, can file a lien. This is filed at the county clerk's office not later than 90 days after the completion of work. So from the day you finish doing your work, if you're not paid for it, you've got to file a lien within 90 days after you complete the job. Notice of delivery. A seller or purchaser of materials delivered to a location other than the job site will send a notice of delivery to the owner telling them that they provided goods and services, goods for this job. A waiver of release. Any liener other than the laborer may waive to the extent of the labor previously performed. So, a waiver of lien. Somebody does some work on the job you're doing, you get them to give you a waiver of lien that basically says, I was paid for all the labor and materials on this job, I have no right to a lien, and they give you a waiver of lien, and you put that with your job packet so you can prove that was paid for. Notice of contest of lien. The owner or the agent or the attorney of the owner can accelerate the time for filing a lawsuit to 60 days. So what they do is let's say someone files a lien and says, I wasn't paid for doing work on this particular job. The owner or their attorney will file a contest of lien, and that gives you 60 days to go to court and get a court date. So basically we want to look at the format for the notice to owner. It says, warning to owner, under Florida law, your failure to make sure that we are paid may result in a lien against your property and you're paying twice. To avoid a lien and paying twice, you must obtain a written release from us every time you pay your contractor. In other words, you need to see a waiver of lien. The contractor wants to get a waiver of lien from every one of his subcontractors. And this is principally what it says on the notice to owner. The manner of serving notices and other instruments are 1. By actual delivery to the person to be served, or one partner or an officer of the corporation, director or managing agent. Secondly, by mailing the same, postage prepaid, by registered or certified mail to the person at the address listed on the notice of commencement or shown on the building permit application. 3. If neither of the above methods can be accomplished, then you post the notice on the premises. Duration of a lien. No lien provided by Part 1 shall continue for longer than 1 year after the claim of lien has been recorded, unless within that time an action to enforce the lien is commenced in a court of competent jurisdiction. In other words, if you file a lien against somebody because they haven't paid you, you have 1 year. That lien's going to stay on the records for 1 year, and you have to renew it every year. Otherwise the lien falls off and you lose your right to collect that money. So what you want to do is go ahead, take it to court, and get a judgment. Contest of lien. An owner or his agent or attorney may elect to shorten the time prescribed in subsection 1 within which to commence an action to enforce any claim of lien or claim against a bond or other security by recording in the clerk's office a notice in substantially the following form. Notice of contest of lien. You have the name of the lienor. You are notified that the undersigned contests the claim of lien by you on such and such date and recorded in such book and page of the public records of Brevard County, Florida, and that the time within which you may file suit to enforce your lien is limited to 60 days from the date of service of this notice. That's your notice of contest of lien. It speeds up the time that you have to go get a court date. Monies received for real property, improvements, penalties for misappropriation. So if you receive money from people and you misappropriate it, let's say that you're doing one job and you don't get paid on it, so you take the money from another job and you help pay for some materials or laborers or something until the other money comes in, you've just committed a crime. A person, firm, corporation, or an agent, officer, or employee who receives any payment on account of improving real property must apply such portion of any payment to the payment of all amounts due and owing for services and labor which are performed on or materials which are furnished for such improvement prior to receipt of the payment. Can't use that money for anything else until you pay off all your debts on that particular job. All your materials and laborers have to be paid first. If they're not, you're in trouble. Any person who knowingly and intentionally fails to comply with paragraph A is guilty of misapplication of construction funds and is punishable as follows. $100,000 or more is a first-degree felony. Less than $100,000 but more than $20,000 is a second-degree felony. Less than $20,000 is a third-degree felony. Misappropriation of funds.